I'm Ruthie Marek, and I live in Westlake Village with my husband Ed and my two kids, Jake and Rachel. We have a big old golden retriever named Tucker and 3 cats that fill this house. We've been here for 14 years, and this is one of my favorite rooms of the house. Being outside, there's a little breeze and flowers and peace, and this is where I love to sit outside and spend time with God and be still in the mornings. And about 3.5 years ago, I got a phone call, and that's that phone call that you never think you're going to get. And I was just ready to pick up my kids from school when the phone call came in, and it was my doctor telling me that I had just had a CAT scan, had a lot of discomfort in my abdomen, and went in for a CAT scan, and within an hour I got a phone call that she was very, very concerned that I had cancer in my ovaries and in my kidney and in my omentum, which is your stomach lining. And as she was telling me that, sitting on my couch, writing on the back of a magazine, cancer, ovaries, kidney, I had this incredible sense of peace from the Lord, as if He was standing behind me, wrapping a blanket of peace around me. And looking back 3.5 years later, I'm such a visual person. I remember every time I am in Restoration Hardware and I see those big, luscious, expensive blankets, that's what it felt like. Not a cheap Target blanket, and I love Target, but it's that Restoration Hardware blanket of just unbelievable peace behind me as I got that phone call. And a touch of excitement too, because for 20 years I had prayed for God to use my life. And I was so upset with Him for those 20 years because He didn't seem to be using me. And I had an insatiable appetite to help people. And I came from a very functional family. We never had any issues. We never had any problems. I never had addictions. I never struggled. And I could never therefore say, oh, I've been there, let me help you. And I wanted to do that so badly. And as soon as those words were coming across in my ear from my doctor, I just remembered what I had prayed for 20 years, and it was, this is how you're going to use me. And I had, like I said, peace and a touch of excitement. And for a mom who has 2 kids at the time, 8 and 10 years old, that's not a normal feeling to experience. And it was just, you're going to answer my prayers through this. And I was excited. And I know that's not the normal reaction to a cancer diagnosis, but I knew it was an answer to prayer. And I knew I wasn't going to do it alone, and I knew He was going to use me. And that's what I had prayed for 20 years. The blessings I saw God pour out on my life were immediate. We don't have enough time to sit here for me to tell you how much He's blessed me through this. From watching a family's faith grow because of my journey, my husband's faith has increased tremendously. My parents moved in with me to help me through this. I see their faith growing. My kids have seen the blessings of love and selflessness and kindness and prayers. And I always felt so bad for them that cancer was a word that they hear in our house. Chemotherapy was a word. For my kids to come up to me and say, Mom, do you have chemo today or is it tomorrow? I would kind of cringe that they have to use those words. But at the same time, I thought, because they're using these words, they're seeing this amazing stuff from God through all these people in our lives. The opportunities He's blessed me with blow my mind. The speaking opportunities I've had at church, the writing opportunities I've had through my blog, the ministries we've started. I always remember being a new wife with my husband at those client dinner parties, and being a new wife and a new mom. And someone would say, what do you do? I'm a mom. Or I don't even know what I would say. But I didn't have anything to say, and I always wanted something to say. And guess what? When I show up those parties now, I got stuff to say, and it's all because of what He's given me. And to say that I didn't even know that I had started a ministry until someone said, you have a ministry. And when they said that to me, I thought, I do. I think that was a desire of mine that I didn't even know that was there. I didn't know to put the word ministry on it, but we have a cancer ministry that we started called Can't Do Cancer Without God. And the moment not the moment, but probably hours after I got the diagnosis, I thought, can't do cancer without God. How would anybody do this without him? How do you do life without him? But how do you do cancer without him? And I wanted to have a t-shirt printed up and wear that t-shirt every single day. When I was at chemo, when I was walking around at Vaughn's, I wanted everybody to know that I'm the girl with cancer and I can't do it without him. And then I realized I like clothes a little bit too much and I don't want to wear that t-shirt every day. So we started making necklaces out of bottle caps, and my mom makes them for us now. And we package them up real cute and give them out for free to anybody that we hear has cancer. Well, I keep them in my purse, I keep them in my car. If we see someone out at Target that, has got the scarf on and I've had that look, I know what that is, we can, approach her and ask her if she'd like one. And the response has been amazing. And we have a book that we send out to people, and it's amazing. It's amazing to give through this journey that's hard, but to see other people blessed through what he's given me to share with others. And I'm a gifter. He made me a gifter. I love giving gifts. And, to give a candle to a girlfriend versus giving hope and peace to someone going through cancer through a book or just a bottle cap necklace is so beautiful, so beautiful. And my daughter and my kids are involved. We'll be somewhere and they're like, Mom, especially my daughter, Mom, go get her, go give her a necklace. And it's like a family thing. I love it. Get emails that people need this, and it's just, oh, I love it. And then we started a ministry with my girlfriend. Didn't even know it was a ministry when we started it. We started a decorating class. I love to garden and I love to decorate. And I always knew God made me creative with a passion for decorating, but I never knew how to use it for him. And I had all that guilt about, I spent so much time decorating and reading blogs and magazines, but he was never included in that until one day I found a way to include him in decorating. And it was the light bulb that went off above my head that I can decorate for him, and I can use my house as a ministry, and I can invite people in and share my faith over lunch. And what an amazing, I'm pretty creative and I couldn't think of that. He put that into my head that I've given you this house, use it for me. So my girlfriend and I, who I met because I spoke at church about my cancer journey, and I met her just a few weeks later. She came up to me and introduced herself, and we became best friends from that moment on. And we just started a monthly class at my house where we have 6 girls in at a time every month, different girls, and share our love for Jesus and share our love for family. And to share that our home, you don't have to have a ministry with a business card. You have a ministry in your home of scripture on the walls and plaques that you pick up at a thrift store that share what your family believes and what those kids are going to grow up seeing, and those seeds that you plant in those hearts, whether it's your children or your spouse or your in-laws who come over or the plumber who comes over to fix your sink. While he's waiting for me to write that check, he's kind of looking around, and you know what, if he comes back a couple times a year, every year, he's going to know that this house is a little bit different and what's in here that makes this family different. And none of this happened before cancer. None of it. So to be blessed upon blessed upon blessed through cancer, never would have thought it could occur. I never thought you could live with cancer. And I always make it a point when I talk to someone about, oh, they're living with cancer, or we give out books to those people who are living with cancer. You can certainly live with cancer and have a life better than you had before you had this diagnosis placed on you. I wouldn't want the life I had before. When you have a tragedy, you often say, if I could go back and do it all over again, would I really, really want to do this? If God could grant me one wish, would I want him to take this out of my life? There's no way. I wouldn't want the life I had before I had this. And I just wouldn't. I am so alive. I am so close to him. I mean, I loved him and I knew him before, but I know that I know that I know that he is real and he is with me through this. And that's priceless. I wouldn't give that up for anything in the world. And to share that with other people who may not know him so well through any journey that they're having, um, it's a gift to be able to share what he's done for me, to share it with others. And my blog is called Ruthie's Gift, because I hope my gift is that by reading what I write, they draw closer to him. And my verse that I learned soon after I was diagnosed was James 4:8, draw near to God and he will draw near to you. So simple. How many words are in that? So simple, but so meaningful. But I don't think we ever show up for him to draw near to us. We can do it on our own. And when you sit there and give it to him and to surrender it to him, the comfort is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I consider myself to be a safety Sadie. Don't like roller coasters, don't really like surprises, don't like a lot of stuff. I'm a safe girl. And God has gotten me out of my comfort zone through this. And it's kind of a cool place to be, because I was in Chelsea Cameron's class 3 weeks before I was diagnosed. And she was amazing comfort to me and friend to me through the very beginning of my diagnosis, my surgery. And I tried so hard to stay in that class, which was the best class I've ever taken in my life. And through treatment and weakness and losing my hair and losing my eyelashes, that didn't stop me from getting to her class. I may have had crooked eyelashes, one upside down and one down, but I was getting to that class. With the help of a walker, I was going to get there. And she had asked me to speak one day, and her class probably had 200 women in it. And I'm the girl who, I'm going to vomit if you ask me, at a wedding, when that video guy goes around at a table, you want to say something to the bride and groom? No. I'm in the bathroom, I'm getting another piece of cake. I'm not going to wish them well on that video. So for her to ask me to speak in front of 200 women, I said yes before she finished her question. I was excited to say yes, which I knew as I was saying yes, this is not me saying yes, this is God through me saying yes. And I worked on what I was going to say, and I practiced it, and you know, she said take all the time you want. And I took 1 hour and 10 minutes of her class, and I got up there, and I had confidence, I had excitement, and I started out by sharing with those girls that there's 3 things in life that I hate: flying, pap smears, and public speaking. And I shared with them that if there was a 747 in the driveway with an OBGYN on that plane, I'm going to be up here on this stage. I'd rather be public speaking than on a plane having some work done down there. I'd rather be on her stage. And the confidence that he gave me, and he equipped me to do his will. And oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it was me up there and sharing all that I had learned in that short period of time with these women. And the beautiful thing to me is these girls didn't have cancer. They were just moms like me. But my message resonated with so many of them, of hope and trust and finding joy instead of happiness. When I started Chelsea's class, I was a very, very unhappy mom, and I sobbed that first day because everything she talked about convicted me. I was searching so badly to be close to God, but I didn't know that's what I was searching for. I had this big hole, and I tried to fill it with stuff like so many people do. And when cancer entered my life and I filled that hole with him daily, that's what changed my whole life. And I think that's what the moms in that room kind of understood and could relate to, is being a mom is so hard, being a wife is so hard, and circumstances make you miserable, and to have joy and peace. Peace is something I don't think I've ever had until I had cancer. That's amazing. And so I've had a couple speaking opportunities since then, and I have some upcoming. And the first thought is, when I'm asked, okay, and then I think, God, I am here and healthy, I'm still in treatment, but if you want me on that stage, that day I'm going to be well enough to share whatever you want to share through me. And I am so honored to be up there to share my testimony and the fact that I have a testimony. I've always wanted a testimony. Now I have one. That's the best thing about this whole thing, is that I can share my love for Jesus with other people. Never thought I could do that before. And it's so easy and it's so well received. I was a Christian since I was 11 years old. Never read my Bible, rarely went to church, didn't have Christian friends, didn't go to Bible study. And I was just this stagnant, unhappy Christian girl. I loved him. He was my best friend, but I didn't know him. I didn't spend time with him. And 2 years before I was diagnosed, I changed my life and rededicated it to him. And got involved in a Bible study and did my homework at that kitchen table every morning and got up and read an hour before my kids got up for school. And that changed my life. It changed my day, but it changed my life. That I had never I don't know how to say it. I was just living my life loving him, but not knowing him and trusting him and being obedient to his call. I was too busy to hear it. And what a difference. What a difference. And I know that people look at me and think, how is she peaceful through this and happy through this? And our house is not a house of cancer. Even when I'm sick and I'm on that couch and I don't feel good, that feelings in our house are, it's just not a sickness house. It's not a sad house. For someone who's just newly diagnosed and you get that phone call that knocks your socks off, to spend time with him immediately, and don't try to do it by yourself, and to just go to him and cry out to him. And instead of crying out to your girlfriends and your husband and your parents, that's okay, but make him your priority, to go to him and say, I'm scared. Be honest. I'm scared. I don't want to do this. Please help me get through this. Please reveal yourself to me. Let me know you like I've never known you before. And he will. He will. But I don't think that's not our first reaction. Our reaction is, I'm going to do this by myself. But my advice to anyone is give it to him first.